Hey Scott, so I'm just going to show you the tool really quick, and then I'll show you how I would use it. So maybe you already know this stuff, or maybe you just need to know where the buttons are. So really quick, you can just right-click on any audio clip in here, and then choose audio gain. And then here you want to normalize max peak to 0 dB. You can see right here, if I were to scrub through the clip on the levels over here, that it's only reaching about -6, but 0 is the loudest it can be without distortion, and that's where you'd want it for a final mix. So so this one, this normalized max peak, will find the max peak and then raise the volume by that entire clip to make that max peak reach 0. So if I did OK here and scrub through now, you'll see it should peak. Well, if I played it, it would actually peak out there, right at 0. So the red dot's okay. Premiere, it'll show the red dot if it reaches 0. So if you want to be super safe, which you don't need to be, but you could always, oops, not that one. You could always normalize max peak to -1, and that would be 100% safe with no red clipping dots, but 0 is normal. Don't do this one, normalize all peaks. That will take the entire clip and raise all the levels to 0, which you don't want to do. That's going to actually make it worse. If you're doing this for the my brain's not working, for the reel, and each one of these were to represent, say, a different clip of audio for a different piece, you would actually first want to go through and make sure that all the relative levels are good, and you'd want to bounce these down to one track and then normalize that. So let's just pretend that these were each a different student piece. You'd want to, watch over here to see the levels, or do it by ear to see what sounds good from one to the next. And then in here you can see there's a volume, so you can adjust the volume here. So you can actually distort it here if you went too high. So you want to be careful. 0 again is kind of average, and then if you need to raise some, you can. Once you had them all working well together, you then want to bounce these down to one track. So I would just take and do a file, export, media, and then what you'd want to do is just do, I hate this new setup. Under format, just to choose wave. Windows waveform, or waveform audio, sorry, which will just export a wave file. So I'll say output master, or whatever you want, and I'll stick it in the desktop. And then under the audio settings, for audio codec, you just choose uncompressed, so it's not going to change it at all. Keep it high quality. These settings are all good. And then there's a button here. Shit. If you open up the General tab and choose Import into Project, and then Export, it'll just bounce them down to one track right here. And then, sorry, I could use a little more space here. And then you can just take the output master and drop it back into the channel. So that'll be one mix with everything. And then you can just solo that track right here. And then this is the one that you'd ultimately want to do the audio gain on. That would be so it'll raise all the levels together at the same time. Again, that's will only work if each one of these already sounds good relative to each other, and then you can bring them all up to that final volume. So hope that helps.